Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Donna Martinez and Rufus Edmisten. Recently, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear a case where the owners of the Atlantic Coast Pipeline and the Trump administration are appealing a court decision, a lower court decision, that refused to allow the pipeline to cross the Appalachian Trail. Any idea how this Supreme Court might rule? What happens if the decision stands and the pipeline can't cross? Is it going to be dead? Donna?
Well, first of all, the Fourth Circuit is rapidly becoming known as one of the most liberal circuits of the court. So I think that the Supreme Court, with its makeup now, is likely to overturn. But if it doesn't overturn, we're in a heap of trouble because we need natural gas in North Carolina, particularly with the big push for renewables, which are largely intermittent sources. And if you have environmentalists say, we don't want natural gas, we don't want the pipeline, they're not real hot on nuclear energy either, they don't want fossil fuels, well, how are we going to power our lives?
That's
really
important. And not crazy about renewables because they don't like the tax credits that are given to solar panels, and the Senate just pretty well put the kibosh on wind farms. Yeah, this is an issue, and particularly east of I-95 because natural gas is not as prevalent down in that section of the state, having lived there.
We need this here, and there may be some misconception among some folks that somehow we're talking about like giant high voltage wires or something like this. This pipeline will be buried underground. There would be rights of way that would be maintained, and you virtually wouldn't be able to tell it's there once it's there. But we need it, and if we're going to reject it, then we have to relook at this whole renewable mandate because it's not going to work.
You agree with Donna that the Supreme Court probably will overturn that lower court decision?
I think so, because when the court takes up an issue, they find it of national interest, and this is of national interest. It impacts a lot of states. But let's talk a minute about the Appalachian Trail. That passes close to my home in Boone, and it is a national icon. I remember somebody wanted to put a rock crushing plant there one time up near Boone, and the filtering, the filth, the noise, the smell, the court ruled against a rock crushing company on that because it is a national iconic pathway. And I do believe, though, from the very fact that the court took it, that's an indication that they think this is extremely integral to a national policy, and they will overturn.
So how do you compare
Circuit
that
Court.
to Hugh Mortons' big fight with what is the
Grandfather Mountain?
Yeah, making the transportation people put the Blue Ridge Parkway around Grandfather Mountain instead of cutting through it.
Because he was Hugh Morton. That's
Well, the court sided with him.
They certainly did.
Is any precedent here?
Those were state courts.
Ah.
So that was the difference. And what you have is the Appalachian Trail in some places is voluntary. It's not a fee simple transaction where you give a deed to a house and you own the thing. We lawyers call it fee simple. It is contributions, it's other kinds of activity, and I wish it could be saved. Now, I don't understand, though, why you can't go under it.
I was getting ready to say, Donna, they're going to dig a huge, deep trench, and they're going to bury it over. The trail will heal, won't it?
Well, certainly, and I think that's the part of the misconception that I was talking about. Look, this week we saw in the state of California, where I have relatives, that there were rolling blackouts because of their issues with the grid and wildfires and things like that. You cannot get around the fact that we are a growing state. People want to live here. That's wonderful. But infrastructure is critical, whether it's ground transportation or whether it's energy. We can't have it both ways. We can't reject natural gas and then say, well, we love solar and wind. They're intermittent sources. You have to have that base load availability. So if this is not overturned, we're going to have a huge issue that we will have to face.
What was it the Rolling Stones says, you can't always get what you want?
There you go.
There you go.
They're always right.
Well, thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.